Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and today is Thursday. It's January 23rd. This will be our chart lesson for today, and we had a really nice down move today. This is, in the end, it looks like this was a spike in a channel. Notice how the prices spiked down, and then we leveled off into this channel. And I get a lot of questions about spiking channels. I haven't seen as many of them lately, but basically what happens is the market's really weak here, but it can't continue to sell off at that level and be a healthy trend. A healthy trend is usually about a 45-degree angle, and so what happens is you sell off real strongly, and then prices then go into your channel, or the channel's not quite as steep as the original sell-off, or if you had a say like a spike. Here's a spike in channel, prices spiked up here and then went into this channel sideways the rest of the day. And if you go around and look, you can see, you can find them if, they're there. Just looking back, see if I see any more. Here's one price is spiked up and they went into that channel right there. Kind of the same thing here, prices spiked up and then went into a channel. And that's basically what a spiking channel is. Prices just spike real steeply one way or the other, and they can't maintain that steep of an angle, and there's not enough momentum to do that, and that's not a healthy trend. So then it falls into a more healthy trend and continues to trend down. And what I saw was a channel here with a median line. We tend to overshot that on the lower side a little bit early, but I don't think most people were probably seeing the bigger channel at that point. They were probably looking at this little trend line right here and maybe this channel, maybe there being a bigger channel, but in the end I think this is what we were looking at. And you didn't really need it specifically until you got down to here to see the bigger channel. And hopefully you saw this, because it's still, even if you didn't find this earlier, once you started bouncing off this line here each time, you had to draw a line in there, and by the time you got to here, that's when it was obvious there was some kind of line running across here as well. So once you start to see I can glance at a chart and just kind of see the lines and see how prices are reacting. So, but once you see it, draw the line, because it helps you learn to spot it and get to where you can spot it with just a glance. But if you don't draw the lines, they're definitely harder to see sometimes. So make sure you draw your lines and so forth. But that's what we have, a spike and a channel down. Lots of opportunities to short. It was tempting to want to buy down through here, but as I told another trader, until you see rejection, it looked like we had some rejection here, but by this time it was obvious that there's something else going on here, and you don't want to be buying up through there unless you just want to be real aggressive and do some gambling, and it's not worth it in my opinion. So you're better off. It's all been shorts today, and there's been quite a few opportunities to get short, and we're still going lower. So but let's back out a little bit and talk about the trades that I saw and go from there. First trade I saw was a little after 7 this morning, and I like this one simply because at this point what I was looking for, we didn't have a whole lot of price action to work with, so we had one leg down right here, and so I was looking for another leg down to around 1820 something here. So that was my target. So I drew this trend line off the top, off those first two swings. And so when we pulled back right here, I was looking to get short off that line. And notice what we have here. We've got a new high. You got a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. This is not really a failure, but it's a second entry that didn't go anywhere. So it's probably going to act like a failure. So if you get a setup off that trend line, just take it. And there it was. And so you could look at that as two tries to go higher that didn't work out, that's going to go lower, and you're probably looking for at least a new low here. So I like going short right there, even though that's the first entry, because it looks close enough to be a failed second entry that it'll probably work like one. And it did back up a minute, and then you get a second chance. So you could either add on here, or if you didn't feel comfortable entering here, wait on that second entry, which was right there, and then look at it go. Boom, off it goes. You don't want to be getting short here because this is probably, even though this one might have worked, it is a good chance it's going to bounce, which it did. Um, and then you get like what looks like a smaller two-legged pull back, back up to the high. But notice here, this was like a new swing high here. And you get a first entry long, a second entry long, and it's like a failure. So I like going short, but mostly because it's a bearish looking bar right off that trend line right there. Um, so just go short right there. You're looking for, prices are still in this little channel. Easy move, and you could have gotten a couple points out of this thing or more on your runners if you stayed with them. And by this time, at this point, I really had this down here. And that may be more where it is. Now that I move it down there, it still seems to fit better down there. And this is probably just a tad bit lower here where you kind of got an equal move. And now that I move that there, I like that even better. Shows you don't have to have it exact. You just have to have it in the right general area. So I really like that better the way I've got it there right now. But anyway, there's two shorts here that make you a good amount of money before you even get to the regular open today. So if you're in here trading, I mean, these are nice setups. Then we're bouncing off the lower side down here. You get this bounce. I don't think you can go long here. You got to wait for the setup. It was tempting to go short right here, and you could have, but you would have had to ride this out a little bit. It was better to wait on the second entry long, the second attempt to go up and then go short. So that's the reason this is, and by the time, I sat here and watched this go lower, so I kind of was mad at myself that I didn't get short right there. But looking back at it, I would have just been, by being antsy there and impatient, I would have still got a scalp, but I would have seen it bounce anyway. And then, then who knows what happens. Your mind starts playing more tricks on you and you jump out of a good trade or whatever. And you still get a chance to enter right here. It basically just the same place, but now you got the trap and prices are probably going to take on off, and they did. You can't go short here. This is very similar to the other one we looked at back over here, right in here, because there's a good chance you're too close to the line. There's a good chance it's going to hit and bounce and go to the other side. But this market's weak, and it just keeps going down. There's a little double top here. Aggressive trader might have gone short right there. If it would have broke on through, I would have I did have a stop there waiting on it, but when it didn't break on through, I didn't like that trade. It's too big a chance it was going to try to go back. We were overdue to come back to this, to come higher here. And that's what I was afraid of. Plus I had a measured move right in here at 821 and a quarter, somewhere right around in there. So I was looking for a little bit of a bounce in here anyway. But then when you get the failed second entry long, notice the new high, first entry pullback, second entry. There's a trap. You got plenty of room to move on down lower now. So just go short right there. Easy scalp. You didn't get much more out of it. And then you get another failed second entry long that traps people. Look at that reversal bar. Just go short right there. Took it a few minutes to move on down, but it takes on off. And so you're just playing this trend line down through here. This median line is actually what it is, but it works just like a trend line until prices. But your clue that things were going to reverse is notice how we're not getting back down to the trend line. Now we're kind of, you're kind of, the strength of the down move is fading and we're reversing before we get lower. So people were looking for a reverse in here. They, traders that trade know we're getting overdone and they want to try to catch a bottom. And so they start buying up through here and they start hitting the stops. But notice how it gets up here and it starts finding resistance. You didn't really get a chance to go short until right here. That was the first chance. That's a reversal bar, again, right off this upper line. And this one, you may not have had this line because this one was a little bit hard to see. You could have had it here. As you can see, you wouldn't have been there yet. But I was kind of looking at those closes right there. I really kind of had mine down here originally. And that gives you the break, though. But later, after playing around with it and finding this other lower line, I believe that it was probably um, believe it was probably more like so. Wherever I had it a minute ago where you get the perfect touch. Um, I think the way I ended up getting that was I just measured this distance down here and moved it up or whatever. But anyway, you got these bounces right off of it. And I like this one simply because it's a failed second entry long. But it's a double top right off, right around the trend line. No matter where you had it, it was right around it. It's a big bearish reversal bar. I was tempted to make this one green, but this has been a strong downtrend. But when you try to go higher again and turn down there, you got to go short right there, and then you get a failed second entry long, breakout pullback short. Multiple reasons to go short right there, and off it goes again. They come back pretty quickly, um, and again, it was tempting to mark this as a short right here, and it would have worked. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and mark it. I didn't like I'm still going to make it green because it's a first entry, and that's a fairly bullish move, and you got a bigger double bottom, so we could have broken on out here. But when you try to go longer once, then twice, now you got your trap. Just go short right there, and boom, easy scalp. They always, they've been pretty good about right in here. Most of this choppier stuff of coming back getting the break-even stops, but hey, you'll be surprised when you catch one. So just stay with it and keep hanging on to them, and eventually you catch some that move on down. And we're still treading lower here, and I guess we're headed to the other side again now. We'll see if we come up short again or not. But this thing is just really selling off right now. So, but I did make this one green simply because it's a first entry, and by the time it broke lower, you had these two smaller inside bars. But really, to be honest, to a trained eye here, you got a new high, a little bit of a pullback, and an attempt to go higher. So you really tried to go higher there twice. So that's why I think if you really want to be aggressive, you just got to enter right there. And if you did enter right here, then your runners were safe on this, and you could have ridden them down to here, or you might want to see if you can go down to here if you're still holding them. So anyway, that's what I saw today. Another fairly decent day. A lot of you don't like the range days, so today you had your trend. The key is that, don't fight this thing all the way down trying to turn it into a range. This is a downtrend, and I guarantee you some of you that have been struggling with trading ranges probably tried to buy this thing all the way down, and you're getting burned over and over and over. So don't do it. Stay with the trend. I mean, this is an obvious trend. Everything's pointing down. You're going to have some corrections in it, but as long as we're inside this channel, I would stay with it. So, but you can see the number of trades there, and like I said, this was a really good day for me. I'd already met my goal before the market ever opened today on 2 trades. So a couple more in here was just gravy again for me today. So the last 2 days have just been really good days as far as profit goes for me and number of trades. Not having to take a lot of trades either. So I like that and like getting done early. So I hope you had a good trading day as well. And if you didn't, you just got to keep working on this stuff. It takes a while. This is not easy to do, and people will tell you can't do it. But I always tell people, go read our testimonials page on our website. I can tell you that every one of those, none of those are all unsolicited. I don't ask for those. People just send them to me. They're all 100% real. Why would somebody lie and send it to me? There's no reason for somebody to send that to me and lie. So and a lot of those people I've been talking with for a long period of time. So if you want to see what other people can do it, go, go read those testimonials, because I can assure you, I didn't ask for them. People just send them to me. And, so they're not made up. They're not something we typed up and put on there to, to try to sell you something. They're all real, and you either can take my word for it or not. But they go read them. They're interesting, and you'll see that there's a lot of people that have success with this stuff. So it's not just me, but again, it's not easy to do. So if somebody tells you this is easy, it's not. But if somebody tells you it can't be done just the same, they're wrong. So don't believe them. Put in the time, put in your effort, and study. It doesn't mean that you'll be successful and learn how to do it, but you can be successful and you can learn how to do it. So, but I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you had a good trading day. Tomorrow is Friday. I may take a 3-day weekend tomorrow, so if there's no chart lesson tomorrow on Friday, you will know why. I took the day off. But I'm not sure yet if I'm going to. It just depends on, I've got some things that I'd like to, I'd like to just take a 3-day weekend and take care of some, enjoy the weekend. But if the weather's not nice or whatever, I may come in and trade anyway. So, but just a heads up in case there's not a chart lesson today, tomorrow, you will know why. And if I don't talk to you tomorrow, have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week. And otherwise, I'm out of here. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.